work fixing geniuses, and they always ask you to. Yeah. Matt Groening. Bart in his room, Lisa peeping on him. Prayer, the last refuge of a scoundrel, Richard Branson, when he thought he was going to die doing something spectacular, flying into space, he's praying to Jesus to save his life. God, if there is a God, maybe the Angels will win the pennant. No, Ohtani went to the Dodgers. Oh, okay. Who gives a rush? I don't give a shit. No, I could care less. But then I couldn't care less. Love went wrong and you went to someone else. It's not really love. It's sexual procreation over money. And it kills people with Lou Gehrig's disease being stressed out in New York because the city that never sleeps starts spreading the news. Yeah. New York will kill you if you stay there to try to be the best of New York. Even if you clone yourself and stem cell research sell yourself, you're still dead. You're just trapping the soul in a zombie. Damn, you guys weren't paying attention to the cranberries at all in college, were you? Earl, I'm tired, man. You know how you get those movies and they have all this shit, I may not agree with what you have to say, but I'll fight to the death for you to say it. And that's exactly what happens, right? Freedom of speech. But what about speech of freedom? They'll kill you if you teach people speech of freedom. And no one will know you existed. They ran you over in a parking lot of Best Buy back during the Obama administration, right? It's not happening, but it's happening to them. Oh, it's happening, sweetheart. They're an insurance commercial, right? And you sit there, right? It's interesting, though. If you study the dynamics of the betrayal of the enlightened one, that history doesn't always repeat itself, but you'll find it often rhymes, like Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain said. And in the Garden of Eden, okay, there was Adam, Lucifer, and Eve, and Lilith, right? And, if anybody knows the selfishness of a woman, it's another woman. But when a man starts acting like that woman, people tell me that you really know the right things to say, especially when you're trying to get your way, right? Now, okay, Lucifer gets everything he wants, has everything, has all the best food, the best products, the best trees, the best this, because he's willing to kill over them. He's willing to seduce every woman into backing him up to do it because he's Louis Farrakhan, surrounded by a bunch of women in hijabs willing to take a bullet for him. Nothing like my apostle El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, right? And so there's 4 people, and only one direction was right, and that was the speech of freedom. He's selfish. He tells you what you want to hear, to have all the things you think you need, fighting and killing over what you want, Eve. So go with Lilith and go with Lucifer and be in the sky with diamonds. Build your satellites. Walk with Enoch in space. Enoch's people had to go to school with the people that walk in space. Enoch's people. Buddy Pritchard, yeah. The Book of Enoch will blow your mind. If you had a mind, you would probably sell it for a blowjob. They do. Yeah, how Epstein of your files. Tell me about it. And so you sit there and you look at these people. Now in India, okay, there's Gopi, Radha, Krishna, and is it Vishnu or Shiva? I don't really pay attention to the bitch in India. I don't like his ass, right? But Gopi and Radha are 2 women, and if one woman knows another woman's selfishness, it's Gopi and Radha, right? But in this case, I think was it Radha that tries to go with Krishna? And then Gopi, she goes with Vishnu, Taj Mahal, knowing damn well that thinks she's getting the better deal because Vishnu is going to hunt down and kill Krishna no matter what Krishna does to try to be friends with him and get him to be friends in love and peace. Right? Same thing Lucifer does with Christ in the other tribe. And similar things happen in Japan and similar things happen in China. It's just everybody has their new jack swing on their culture through it, And so it's you'll find, history doesn't always repeat itself, but it often rhymes. So you got Montezuma, you got Cuauhtémoc, you got, and the women, you got Lama Linche. She's going to go where she can stay alive. So one day in spirit, she can love Cuauhtémoc instead of that asshole Cortez. Why does she tolerate Cortez? Because they killed Cuauhtémoc and she's going to raise a child to be like me. Well, because I'm a man. Yes, I am. And I can't help but love you still. Cortez looks like the pictures, but he's a snake with the face of Jesus, Quetzalcoatl. And that's the people, the human gods that came with the testimony of his testimony on their lips, but not in their hearts. How Pizarro of your lost cities of gold and fountain of youth, right? Cabeza de vaca, Estevanico. Bring out the women for us to fuck. If you don't understand history, you're not going to understand me. If you don't understand the history of psychology, ask Tom Cruise for help. Where's the goddamn cookie dough, right? Let's go fly an airplane for a movie and a show and cause heart disease and cancer and diabetes, don't you know? And then tell everybody how healthy you are because you go get detoxed in Jackson Hole next to Greg LeMond's place until that place goes Krakatoa because of your economics. And then come back after the mess is all cleaned up and you kill all the right-wing conservative Christians of the West and the Midwest and Texas and all that, right? Let's make sure that they let their economics and we'll just clean it all up. It's like, that's not how the earth works, guys. Snowpiercer is your imagination, and you're a fashion show bitch trying to act like a man with women that are cold cunts, colder than Guy Ritchie's cunt ever thought about being. Don't let him sit on your face. Good. Jason Statham does it all the time. Yeah, the man's scared shitless of me. There's not a little boy being a fashion toy selling bread with respect in a store aisle that isn't scared shitless of me. Okay. They are all scared shitless of Earl. If Earl is known to the world, they can't sell yak piss, potato chips, cars, insurance, erection pills, Blue Chew, you name it, they got it. Right? It says so in all the books and all the stories. They've heard stories and they've heard fables that I'm vicious on the mic and the corn tables. This young reporter, I did a door, started walking to the crowd like I never did before. I said, damn, she said, damn flag guy, I'm in love with you. Casanova Lavender must have been true. I said, by the way, baby, what's your name? She said, I go by the name Lois Lane. That's to be his boyfriend. Yeah, I know, it's but except he has a boyfriend named Superman. Well, he's a fairy. I do flows, flies through the air in pantyhose. He maybe fly around the world without missing a beat, but he kind of rock a large. I don't know. I forgot the words. Hank's kind of, he's talking about how big his dick is. And it's like, and your girlfriend always came to me and said, I want to be loved. I don't want to be fucked. I said, I can't love all of you. I'm going to teach them the Lord's Prayer, and they're going to try to kill you and run you over in a parking lot of Best Buy. Oh, how designer suit of your museum in Chicago. The one I tolerate the best? Biden. Biden's a career politician and a Catholic, and he confesses a lot. And he knows he's wrong, and it drove him crazy. So of all the recent presidents, the one I tolerate and like the best is Joe Biden, the one that lost his son to cancer. And his wife was like, for all the fun things we thought we were doing, it all ended up sucking, and our kids get tortured because of it. And we passed on this shit to our kids. So Jill and Joe Biden are a little bit easier to talk to in prayer. They don't talk much publicly, but once they talk privately, your father, who sees in private, will reward you openly. Oh, they were raised in Catholic school. What can I say? I see you two. Good for Catholic school, huh? That's why I don't know you as well in prayer as I do Mr. Trinky. No, I really liked Carlin. Carlin essentially, in his stand-up, was me with no filters because of New York Catholic school. At 4 years old, correcting Spencer J. Kimball with the bullshit and his Jesus we have to kill the innocent baby as the witness so I don't go to jail for raping mom and killing dad and then sexually abusing the children. I'm the president of the Mormon Church. I run the biggest espionage industry in the United States. And we're number 2 too? Benjamin Netanyahu, okay? You sure about that? There's South Korea, China, Japan, and North Korea. They only pray, like my dad says, they only pretend to quarrel to agree to plunder. What? Yeah. No, the Japanese and the Koreans and the Chinese all hate each other. What are you doing? I don't know. I'm just making shit up. Everything, their economics are similar, yes. Their oppression through mythology, through economics, it's all similar, yes. Fighting over this and that and that and that and that and this, y'all, yeah. No, you bring in your enemies, you get to know your enemies better than your enemies know themselves, and then you must conquer with the music. What about the Pokemon? I don't think the Pokemon really exist, but I know the music does. Make you feel like you're loved by people that really care about you. But they hate you. Because when radiation poisoning hits Japan, it also affects Korea and China. How Taiwan if you're Hong Kong? Yeah, I know. Wow. Yeah, it's bad. Radiation poisoning travels, guys. It does. And they hit him not once, but twice. Yeah. And then they try to find people that can recover from it. You know how we can recover from it? Still waters run deep, peace be still. Oh, it's really uncomfortable, every time. It got to the point because it's got to stop, they're going to kill me. But yeah, physically, I will die eventually. But I will recover, live to be 104, maybe more. I will drink the wine while it is warm and never let you catch me looking at the sun. But after all the love, said my wife. I'm not like that. No. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. Marianne, I'm alive, my sisters are alive, and I'm the guy that got moved to the future. And Marianne is my physical mother. So they kind of I know you can torture and kill my family and abuse my family with Wi-Fi and give them brain injuries through that abuse. But when you get right down to it, because I'm the focal point of truthful, faithful, eternal love, of obeying and understanding natural laws through humility, you had to pick me up and move me to the future through a wormhole in a molecular similitude. So therefore, that's why my religious beliefs are selfish, because I survive your genocide operations because you can't control your dick because you have brain chemical addictions. I understand your professional assassin ways. I met the assholes that Tom Cruise plays in movies at Fort Huachuca and Heron Cruises. Okay? And they're assholes. They won't stand up to give the children the Lord's Prayer to stop little girls from being raped to death in Mexico because of bad science projects. They're dicks. Okay? No. Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro are decent guys compared to the assholes that still are in business here. And I have to shop in the same town with them. I typically shop on Loman. I don't shop up at Roadrunner Parkway. Dad can go shop with them. I can't. My buddy that I worked with at whatever, he got a job there. Is like, I don't know how you can. You do know these people mass murder Mexicans before lunch. Okay. Don't take matters into your own hands. You'll only get yourself and your family killed because you crossed them and you need their money to fuck. Leave the evil one and his little, little red, white, and blue books of the Hitler Youth to me. I got this covered, man. Life's eternal grace is infinite. I'm like Job and Jonah. My faith is perfect. Don't worry about it. How Krishna of you. How Buddha of you. Yeah, me and Judah Krishnamurti, man. Me and Sanya Sen. Me and Tatiro Suzuki. Me and Haile Selassie. Me and Tishna. It's Tishna. It's not. I don't have to look far for Tishna. My brother-in-law's an Aviar. And I told that to my sister, and she goes, Earl, how do you know he's related to this guy? So Pancha, there was only like 800 of them left when they shipped him off to Florida. Okay. And the ones that were here and still surviving, there was not a lot of people. Yeah. Jerry's part of the pet. Yeah. Mr. Aviar is related to Tishna. Okay. It's a very tight family, very small family, very hunted down, tried to be killed, surviving because people were vicious and mean. And you had to be very, had to get together and say, we have to band together and we have to protect each other from these vicious, violent sex cults. They will try to breed us off the face of the planet because we teach faith in Usan, the one God, and don't let them build their big monuments to their egotistical insanity with their astrologers and their astronomers and their poets and their, and that one movie they had with the chick from The Mummy, All these archaic people came in and destroyed their great library because they used the library and the buildings to amaze people with manipulation of lightning through the lightning rods and and that they were the descendants of the gods because of understanding astronomy and yada yada, right? So all that, nothing but manipulation of playing God and evil came out of the Egyptian libraries. So they burned them down to the people that followed the faith of Abraham, burned all those books to the ground. I just see it as kind of like burning Catcher in the Rye and A Separate Piece and Animal Farm and, and Asimov and Machiavelli, so Larry Flint and comic books with, he's this, that one that she Penny buys to be the Aunt of the Year for the 13-year-olds, You take all that stuff and burn it and never see the Epstein files again and never see them rear their ugly heads again. I mean, if you want to go read your sin, and those were the good old days, talking about the good old days. Remember when we used to rape, loot, and pillage? Remember when we used to be able to scalp their private parts and then cut the baby out and lay it beside them or on the Washita? Remember when being with Custer was the best thing in the world? Yeah, good old Custer. The colonel at Fort Huachuca when I was taken to Cochise County in 2006. That's the guy you trust over me. Okay, a man who raped women from here with his men and then scalped their private parts and cut the baby out and laid it next to the dead woman's body. Okay? They have written documentation of this, guys. He wanted to be president. George Armstrong Custer, Cavalier and Buckskin, is what a historian called it. It's like Cavalier and Buckskin. Okay, his men, do you know what his men did to the... Yeah, because they'll mass murder you if you come and try to mass murder them. Yeah. But if you Jim Bridger and you Jeremiah Johnson, not everybody's Jim Bridger and Jeremiah Johnson. Not everybody can respect other people. Not everybody's Malachi Young, the son of Brigham Young, that doesn't exist because he's not in your archives, but he's in my prayers. People pray to me, pray in private, and your Father who sees and hears in private will reward you openly. Okay? There's a man named Steve, used to play for the San Francisco 49ers and the LA Express. It's annuity, yeah. People in his espionage industry thinks his prayers betrayed him because you connected to Parsons to learn the truth, Papa, Mama, I'm dependent on you to tell me the truth, right? Don't listen to Mama. She's off with Vishnu getting fucked or Lucifer getting fucked. Listen to Dad. It meant Adam, when he talked to Lilith, I'm not going to be, if I be like him, then all our children are doomed and all our women are selfish whores. Okay, if I end up sleeping by myself till the day I die, and if I can just get but one of our sons to convince one of our daughters to love him no matter what, for richer or for poor, for sickness and in health, for better or for worse, for always and ever, amen, then my seed of my faith will still exist on the planet, and the children will be safe from the selfishness of Lilith being fucked by Lucifer, and then Lucifer coming and fucking Eve too, because he'll never be safe. The thing was Adam always had to get Lucifer's back because they were brothers. And, okay, maybe this time the girl's going to stay for more than just a day. Maybe now he'll change. He goes, but it wasn't that. He saw me as an all-day sucker. They all see me as that. He's an all-day sucker. He's got an overdeveloped sense of honor. He's on a moral high horse. I have morals, and I have honor. They have no morals. They have no honor. They're characters from DC comic books. They're characters from Marvel Universe. They're Ultron. Nobody's as intelligent and great as them, so they'll just destroy it and start all over again. They're Thanos, ballsack guy. It's always that way. You're not good enough to be like me, so I'll just destroy you all and start over again. I'll find a woman that reflects the greatness of my goddom. God damn. No, Brother Ali is not Uncle Sam, goddamn, no. Because it was the Egyptians that taught the Europeans to be the Americans. Dumbasses. Okay? The sin came from Pharaoh's face, his talking God face, and his bitch of a wife that needed 5,000 people killed to serve her in the sky with Norman Greenbaum. Damn, guys, Haile Selassie, a people without a knowledge and a history is like a tree without root, dead inside and fall for anything. If I write it down, it makes it so because everybody accepts it. That is complete bullshit. The truth lives in he who is faithful enough to stand up for truth when everybody else wants to kill him to believe in what their dirty, rotten, pig-stealing ancestors wrote down as the truth. And the Word became flesh, and he shall be called Earl. His mother's name is Mary. His father's name is Ralph. The last name is Parsons, which means lay preacher, the man who teaches the poor to save themselves from the lives of the wealthy. He's the second coming of his father, so therefore Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. He has a nephew named Gabriel. He has a nephew named Michael. Through Tishna's line, just like it says in Apache prophecy. The invincible one was Tishna, because his family married into Ruth's line. My mom, Mary Ann's daughter. It doesn't say in Apache prophecy that her name is Mary. It's lovely in their Spanish tongue. My sister's name is Linda. God damn, they're dumb. Okay, sure. I had to explain everything to these people. I'm constantly going around explaining everything. Well, you know, when there's a party line, it's my head, and you've got yours, and I've got mine. But I'm faithful, so people that are faithful talk to me. You invent shit called psychology, and druggetry, and you feed it to everybody and say you're a neuroscientist and this is your system. It's your nervous system. God damn, you're all Seth MacFarlane and the Orville on crack. You suck, man. Seth, stay away from Nora Jones with produce. She's really cute. I have a crush on her. No, I'm just saying she ought to be with a man that's more like me and less like you. I like Barbara Fairchild too. Not living or loving or going nowhere. Anybody else love that song? I wish I was a teddy bear. I bet you Nora Jones likes it. Yeah, only she'd slow it down and make it really jazzy. It's like, don't ruin it. Just sing it like Barbara. You could do it. You got the voice to pull it up there, Noah. Yeah, do it with your clothes on. Don't do the whole Alicia Keys thing because the Temple Set Illuminati threatens bad things to your kids or says if you don't throw the game in for the fat lady singing in Seattle, you know. That never occurred to me. They just, the only one that had a good game was Marvin Webster, who's not the guard. The guards all had horrible games, all three of them. And Dick Motta was It Ain't Over Till the Fat Lady Sings. And how much money was made on the, son of a bitch. The old guys came back and won it, right? And they shouldn't have. The young guys outplayed them and had more energy. Yeah. Son of a bitch. I didn't even see it coming. I just thought damn those stupid refs, because they had 4 fouls on Gus, and Gus had to have 4 fouls to be ineffective. And Dennis never was a very good shooter. And if the mobsters show up at your house, you're not going to have a very good Game 7, guys. He's from LA. He's from LA. He knows the deal. He knows about, Mulholland Street and all that shit. You got to do what you got to do. You got to pay your bills. If you're fortunate enough to win the last game of the year, which they were the next year. And then after that, Magic Johnson and David Stern showed up, and that was the last time to hang a thing from the rafters in Seattle. That rotten owner, yeah, he was an asshole. Yeah, Sam Shulman, he was a dick. Oh, Lenny knew it, but Lenny didn't own the team. Trust me, Lenny knew how corrupt the NBA was and still is. Okay. You look at the thing, it's like, oh, wow, look at all the mass murders in the front row. Sheesh. Yeah, all these mass murders in the front row. And I think that's why Russell Westbrook and Russell's guys are, the kids come with the mass murderers. So it's kind of like dissing Victor Maitland's kids because you're sick of it. I got to go. I don't want to sign anybody's stuff. So I kind of get it. Thanks, Russell. Still, don't act like such a drama queen. Just sign it. Be like Shaq. The kids, if you treat the kids nicely, maybe they'll want to be more like Shaq, wanting to recognize Parsons, and less like Charles getting hamburger from the best transgender prostitute on Central Avenue. I've seen her. Yeah, he was gorgeous. One of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. He was. He was. Lola. I'm not sure if it's that prostitute, but it might have been. That was one of the prettiest women I've ever seen. Yeah, in Central Phoenix. She would have seen Charles, and Charles would have seen her. Who would like to get a blowjob from her? Check the Adam's apple in the hands, Charles. All you can see is her lovely face looking up at you. Okay. Charles, you should go home and watch Disney movies with your cute little daughter. Okay. And the rest of us losers that go home and watch Disney movies with their cute little kids. Suzanne the lawyer, your wife's waiting to go be the queen of the silver dollar in all the lesbian bars, and you have no life. You're stuck here with Patrick all weekend watching Disney movies and exercising and what PLFQ spells mom and dad, and that ain't too bad, but mom's at the lesbian bar getting her coochie licked and then fronting on me and saying, I'm just jealous because she's had more sex with more women the last year than I've had my entire life. It's called, wow, I only want to have sex with women that love children and like to stay at home with children and honor the love and respect and the beauty of their handsome husband, okay? And she'll be cooking in the home. She did that on purpose, naturally. Hey, that's Sebastian Kavitz from A Family Affair. It's a family affair. It's Earl Hoobie. I like Phil Harris too. Anybody else particularly fond of Phil Harris? I like him as Abraham DeLacy, Giuseppe Casey, Thomas O'Malley, the Alley Cat. I like him as Baloo the Bear. I like him as Little John the Bear. Who else did Phil Harris play, guys? Wasn't Phil Harris another Disney character that I am missing? I know for a fact, okay, that he's Baloo, Little John, and Abraham DeLacy, Giuseppe Casey, Thomas O'Malley. We're going to have to look that up and see. Was Phil Harris another beloved Disney character besides those three characters? I don't know. Maybe not. I know George Lindsay was a lot of beloved Disney characters, and so was Ken Curtis. Pat Buttram, Mr. Haney from Green Acres. He was the sheriff of Nottingham. He was Pat Buttram played a lot of them. Was he Napoleon or Leopold? George Lindsay was, no, Pat Buttram was, which one was Pat Buttram and George Lindsay are Napoleon and Leopold, right? With Abraham DeLacy, Giuseppe Casey, Thomas O'Malley the Alley Cat. And what else? And there's a lot of voices of beloved characters of the, and the one guy, what's his name, was Winchell or whatever? The Wonderful Things About Tigers. Tigers are wonderful things. They're bouncy. I love him. He does a lot of characters. And then the other little guy, the one who does the Sterling Holloway, right? Sterling Holloway is Winnie the Pooh. Oh, bother. Yeah, everybody else likes Sterling Holloway too. And he also did he did a lot of characters. He had a very, his voice was, oh, bother. Okay, and Piglet. Who was Piglet? Sterling Holloway wasn't Piglet. Was he? I don't know. Some people play more than one voice. Like Frank Wickler. Okay. Who I believe was Scooby-Doo. Right? I don't know. And then Casey Kasem was the original Shaggy, and then Matt Leonard, the guy who does, what happens in the cave stays in the cave, and I just have to outrun Seth Green. Okay, Casey Kasem was Shaggy before the guy who outruns Seth Green, seeing ladies downstairs with Burt Reynolds, who made movies with Dolly Parton, and probably got busy with Dolly Parton. Okay. And she was married. Hey, man, it was like. What happened with Do, when Patsy Cline was telling her husband, you're just a tax write-off. And Do looked at Loretta like, don't know. I'm the one who got you out of the holler and got your career started, and, I'm not a tax write-off. Do was not having it. He was like, no. That's pretty mean. It is mean, man. It's hard for a male in their ego to feel like they're Mr. Jackson or Mr. Lopez, it's hard on them, or Mr. Madonna, right? Then they never stop trying to prove everybody that they're the best, cold-hearted, save everybody with badasses and economy and hop keto and jip keto and zip keto and zip line do-bom-dee-bom-bo, and the best man with weapons and all kinds of weapons and nunchucks and chucks and big bucks and bee-bucks and chicken fingers and chicken wings and insurance policies of funny things. Is that Sarah Cisco? That is, huh? Yeah. Look what they did to that beautiful, beautiful place. Yeah, it's a big concrete jungle of insanity. It's sad, isn't it? It's depressing. It is. When you see a place, respect nature. Love nature. No, respect nature. Love nature. Nature don't love you. Okay. Nature can reflect your love, but it doesn't love you. It acts and reacts with what is given to it. Okay. Love from nature can only come from a human being that understands how to love. It's the truth. It may seem impossible, but that's the gospel truth. And I'm not an action figure. And Disney could not Hulu me anywhere. Yeah, I'm the most censored person in the history of the world. But it says that in all your books and stuff, in your stories and your scripts. The most censored human being in the history of the world. Because the devil and Satan want to replace the faithful love of the Messiah with their egos. Stargazers. It's 92 degrees. They had green ice. What the hell is that? Some of your buildings are so butt fucking ugly. You have the ugliest fucking buildings in the history of building. They do. The pyramids are ugly. They are the ugliest fucking things you've ever seen. That's not a Burt Bacharach song. That's people trying to play God with their egos. The pyramids are disgusting. The Great Wall of China is disgusting. The Eiffel Tower is disgusting. The Sears Tower is disgusting. That new penis they built after the Twin Towers were blown up to make them look like victims are disgusting. Everything you build to be the great penis erectors of the great rulers of the sky by looking down and pissing golden showers on everyone are fucking disgusting. It says so in the Quran. You're not supposed to build skyscrapers. You're not supposed to build great monuments to your tribal violent sex cult insanity. You're anti-Islam. You're anti-Christ. You're anti-Como la Flor. Okay. Understand? Okay. That flower's orange. No, it's not yellow. It's orange. I'm going to kill him. That was so cute. Patrick and Natalie. Your son is stupid. Why is my son stupid, Natalie? Because we sat over at the Chavez's and argued for 30 minutes. What'd you argue about, Natalie? That light over there, your son says it's yellow, but it's obvious it's orange. And I started laughing. She goes, what is so funny? I said, he knows it's yellow. He just likes the way you say orange. She looks at me and gets this look, her eyes did like Miriam's with the brown eyes all sparkling. Oh, your eyes are so gorgeous. You're so pretty, my Natalie. She looks at me and she goes, I'm going to kill him. It was funny. Oh, to be young. And to hold someone in his hands that can protect you and love you from space pirates and perverts and holy llamas, Batman. You think one of those is probably David Spade? You're funny. Yeah, I know. I love you guys, all right? We'll talk later. Just sit back in that chair right now with your PhDs and your degrees and your drugs and your prescriptions and all that shit, and let me fix the technology so we don't have to listen to you fucking talk for money anymore. Well, I'm gorgeous and I'm good at it. And it's not happening, sweetheart. It's happening, sweetheart. Just because something's happening and you're not acknowledging it because you have money and you talk out your ass for money doesn't mean it's not happening. What do you think you are, building and selling Teslas? I love your IPs.